Hey survivors, it's your girl Rico here, and today I want to give you guys an update. I gave you a quick update about why I wasn't around for a few days or whatever else, but this is a Mia update, and this is a very significant and important update because I think it's going to be my last update when it comes down to Mia. Obviously, if anything happens, I will come back and obviously discuss that with you guys, but I feel right now that this is basically the last update. So what has happened is, she still wasn't talking. She obviously reached out to me on one of my videos, on a couple of my videos, which I explained in a previous video before, and she was talking and I couldn't talk to her back. I couldn't obviously express myself to her because it was over social media and she wasn't meant to be using social media and all the rest of it. So in the end, what ended up happening is that a couple of days later or so, I got a phone call and it was on a private number. So I picked up, I was like, yo, hello, what's going on, whatever. And it was her. So she was like, hey mom, but she was crying her eyes out. She sounded all types of tore up and upset, and couldn't really get that much words out of her. And C.A.L.L was just like, I know this ain't a typical day of me calling you, but she was really upset. She was crying, really wanting to talk to you. So I was like, you know what, not a problem, you can call me anytime. Because in the back of my mind I was thinking, yes, finally some correspondence, I'm happy. So in the end, I said to Mia, calm down, there's no need to be so upset. So she was just like, I miss you. And I was like, I miss you too. And I'm not gonna sit here and say it got me emotional. It didn't get me emotional. It got me more kind of like, yes, we can move forward now. It doesn't really matter what happened before or previously. Let's start again. And the tears quickly dried up for her, and she was like, I apologize. It was really silly of me to not wanting to talk to you over a school choice, because if you know about the previous video, is that the social worker basically tried to say that I had some sort of input in the school that she goes to, which we all know that I don't. Mia is completely signed over to the state, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm just like a normal person. They don't need to take any of what I say into consideration, and believe me, they do not. So she couldn't handle Mia's outburst when it came down to, she was like, why am I going to an all-girls school? I don't want to go to all-girls school. I find it weird. Why do I need to do that? And she was trying to explain to her that this is what we want for you as your social worker. This is what we want for you. And Mia was kicking off and whatever else, and she thought, oh, I know what to do, let me drop her mum and see if that can calm her down. Oh no, honey, it did the opposite. It got her more enraged to the point where she was saying, why is my mum even talking? Why is she even involved? And thus came the whole situation of us not seeing her and her not contacting us, because she was absolutely upset that I could even say that she should go into an all-girls school. So anyway, moving on. That was the issue at the time. And yeah, so she was apologizing for that, and she said, now I know that you don't really have that type of power, so to speak. So she apologized for all of that. She goes, mom, are you upset with me? I said, do I sound upset? She was like, no, you sound normal. I said, exactly, it's nothing. At the end of the day, for me, it's like grabbing or snatching peanuts. Do you know what I mean? We can't be in a situation where I'm gonna be wrong and strong and be like, well, Mia, you shouldn't have done this, and Mia, we didn't see you for X, Y, and Z. Yes, those things are true, but is it worth arguing about it when we have little time as it is? No, it's not. So it doesn't really matter about it. Let's just put that to one side and move on. Okay, so I'm there thinking, she's rang me now, things are gonna go back to normal, things are, back to normality. And it again, a lot of people around me will say, why did I even think that way? You know, how she stays, whatever. And yeah, so she was meant to call me again. She hasn't. And at the time, she didn't call me back. And I thought, oh, that was strange. And then I get another phone call on Wednesday. So the schedule for Mia to call me is every Wednesday and every Saturday. That was the old schedule, and that is a schedule that we should be going back on. If she was calling me regularly, that is a schedule that they want to put in place, and that's what they want to keep. So I'm there thinking I'm gonna get another phone call on the day. I didn't get it, but then I got a phone call on the Wednesday. Now, you guys need to bear in mind that when Mia turned around and said she didn't want to talk to me and she didn't want nothing to do with the kids or anything like that, you know, the kids, my other eldest children, you know, they grew up with Mia. They know Mia. That's their big sister. And they've gone through so much I can't even express, like so much when it comes down to this whole situation, and even living in the situation before Mia obviously went into care. Now, with that being said, months were going by and my children were like, when am I seeing her? Why is she not calling? You know, it was my son's birthday, and unfortunately she weren't talking, and you know, it got very suspicious for them very quickly. And we had to sit down and we had to tell them, you know, that in the nicest way possible, we had to explain to them that, you know, this is the situation that we're in, and Mia at this present time has decided not to obviously want to see us. So, you know, when this happened before, there was a lot of tears and a lot of anger and why, and you know, questions that we ultimately, me and the father, couldn't answer. And even if we could answer, we couldn't make it right because it was out of our hands. But this time around, there was a difference with them. They were upset, but I can't exactly put my finger on it. There was no tears. It was kind of like they were numb to it. And they were just like, you know, when I asked my son, how does he feel about this? He was just like, I feel like my sister has thrown me in the garbage, in the trash. And, you know, instantly my heart was obliterated and hurt, because I just thought to myself, they've gone through enough. Everybody is affected. And this is why, you know, I brought out our video not so long ago saying, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, but you know, why do I miss her? Why do I this? Why do I that? I know everybody's been affected, but I can't just switch off the love that I have for her. She's my child. And, you know, looking at my other child, hurt by my other child, is incredibly hard. It is horrible. And I need to stop putting them through this, because ultimately I am the one that, you know, is going through the yo-yo situation with Mia. I'm the one that's ultimately, how do I put it, not putting my foot down. You know, I'm making her be able to pick us up and dash us away whenever she feels fit to do so. And I need to protect my children, and I feel like I haven't been doing that, because I know how much they love her, and I know, you know, how much they don't want. If they had a choice, you know, if I put a choice to them, do you want to see her or not see her, you know, they're not going to pick the not seeing her. But ultimately right now, I need to stop. I need to protect my other 4 children from this yo-yo situation, because it's damaging them. I feel that it's really damaging them, you know. And when I saw him, when I heard, my son say that, it was like, enough is enough now, you know. And it wasn't, you know, at the time I was like, enough is enough. And again, it wasn't, because she got in contact again, and I was like, you know, hi Mia, how are you, blah blah, like nothing never happened. And I could be that way, I'm resilient, I'm that adult, I can, you know, I mean, I'm like putty, I can bounce back. But my poor little children, they're not bouncing back. They're getting torn up by this situation, and I have done little to protect them. I feel, continuously making me a up and down yo-yo situation, and going through it with her, and ultimately going through it with all of my children, my partner, my family, my mum, my dad, my best friends, my people, my circle. I am ultimately dragging them through this thing. And yes, I can't control if Mia wants to talk to me today or not talk to me today. But when she does that and I'm tore up and I'm broken, these are the people that I rely on. These are the people that I go to. These are the people that are also getting torn up and affected by this. And then, my children might see me crying or hear me crying or whatever, and they know what the situation is. It's all just so toxic.